Hello and welcome to Digital Sim Gaming. I'm Energistics and this is another episode of OceanBlock2. We have got some movement. So I created some of these inscribers. I've put a ME pattern provider. These are pretty straightforward things. But I will show you the basics. Okay, so don't worry. So creating the ME pattern provider, these are all the things that we've got: annihilation core, formation core. We've seen all this stuff before, so I just knocked a couple of those together. Now the interfaces are slightly different, but very cool. Also, to do crafting in AE, or Applied Energistics 2, you have to use crafting units, co-processing units, crafting storage, etc. So you craft the crafting units and you can generate co-processing units, and then you have to do crafting storage. So it's got an area to buffer, essentially. So what I've done is I've knocked a basic one of those together with the items that I got out of the airdrops. So we've got 4 blocks, which is you can have a minimum of well, I think it's 2 blocks, but we've got 4 blocks to build our little system up there. So it's quite fast. Obviously, the more blocks you have, the more storage you have, the bigger crafting recipes and stuff like that you can do. So kind of cool. There's also other blocks that you can put in here, like a crafting monitor. You can put in molecular assemblers, which we'll get to at some point. But the basics really are chuck stuff in, it does stuff, process stuff out. Then you've got ME interfaces, which are similar but not quite. They allow you to store certain amounts of stuff into a chest or that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's kind of cool. We've not really done much else except for dense cable. So obviously dense cable is just for regular cable, or in this case it's for smart cable, which creates smart cable. So you can have normal cable, which basically can tow anything, and then it's fluix cable with walls, essentially, which gives you different things, which is this stuff here, which is smart cable. Tells you you've got 64 channels and 5 of them are being used. This one is 2 out of the 64 channels are being used, and then you can see here 2 of 16 of those channels are being used. So yeah, each one splits into 16, and we can have a maximum of 16 things. Now, we've got a lot more than 16 things, and if we were to put a pattern provider on each one of these, and each one of those, we would already have 7 channels. But because I've used AE2 before, I know that if I put one of these inscribers, or one of the inscribers on each one of the faces, and including the bottom, we could also do the top, so that could be a total of 6. If we connect one, they should all connect. However, that would give us all these channels, right? So what I'm doing is I'm using the interface to provide power, but not actually provide a channel, because these things don't need a channel. They just need power. So if I chuck the power through, then obviously everything connected to that will then charge up. So I could put a 6th one here and a 5th one underneath, so 5 and 6. I like this way because I like being able to connect some stuff underneath that. But realistically, they only use power, so they won't use a channel. So that's why we're going to go 1 channel here and then 1 channel over there, which provides for this. Now obviously this is the same as this, but what we're going to do is I'm going to show you this one. So I've got a pattern in here, and I'll show you how to create patterns in a second. But I've got a pattern, which is 1 logic processor equals printed logic circuit, redstone dust, and printed silicon. And then this one, obviously, calculation circuit, etc., etc. Over here, I've got the basics, which is how to do a printed silicon, which is 1 silicon equals 1 printed silicon. And each one of these has a logic press, or it has an inside silicon press. Now, the good thing about this is because it understands that silicon cannot be used in any other process, can only be used with the silicon press, it will automatically filter into the silicon press. So we don't have to do any fancy things with it. We just tell it that this is what we're going to make, and then the machine automatically gets picked. Obviously, we can see that in here. So if I take out these, for instance, we can see a little plus button now. And we've got these over here. So we've got 64 crafting storage plus 3 co-processing units. And if we go back over to here, you can see that we've now got a little plus button. So if I ask for 2 of those, I'm going to start that process and I'm going to run over here. And one of these, there we go, should be in the process of getting done. Now I've got it to auto-export. So what will happen is it will craft, and then it will auto-export back into there, back into the system. So when we go over here, we still get a 4 here, but we've got an additional 2 up there in those slots. So that's how it works. Now, over here, we've got our wireless access point, which I will do at some point. We've got our 16K ME drives, which I did the last time, and we've got our crafting storage. Now, obviously, we're not using this little branch here at the moment because we've got our dense cable so that we can see, and it's smart. Excuse me, and it's smart cable so that we can see how many channels we're using. See, smart. Under here, we've got this thing called the pattern encoding terminal. So the pattern encoding terminal works pretty much like we've seen with the other mod, integrated dynamics. We encode a pattern and we put it onto a blank pattern. So if we go and have a look at blank patterns are fairly straightforward. That's how you make them. So you put the blank patterns in here. You then decide, right, what do I want to make? Now I have made those. I've made all of these, right? So I probably could do this, but that's a different type of thing. I don't know what a crystal resonance thing is, but I've got one. Let's do ME pattern providers, because possibly we might need one, or we might need another, or we might need a few more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to encode those. So here is the ME pattern provider. This is the recipe, okay? So if I hit this plus button, it will filter in the recipe and it will say, okay, this is a crafting pattern. This isn't a processing, this isn't smithing, this isn't fake out, this is crafting. If I hit that button, now I've got the crafting pattern, okay? So I have a crafting pattern. Now, processing patterns are obviously what we're using at the moment. Now, crafting patterns are different to what we've currently got. We've got processing patterns because the items go into another machine to get built, okay? Now, with crafting patterns, they're slightly different. You still require the ME pattern provider. Okay, so you still need a pattern provider because it needs to provide a pattern to whatever you're trying to interface with. However, interfacing with the pattern provider, to be able to do crafting recipes, you need the molecular assembler. And this is the recipe for molecular assembler. Okay, so if we go back into our crafting terminal, we're definitely going to use this recipe at some point. However, we also know that we need glass, quartz glass, crafting tables, formation cores, and annihilation cores. So we need to make the patterns for those as well, right? Because otherwise, it's not going to know how to make those pieces. And if it doesn't know how to make those pieces, well, then it can't make what I actually want or need. Now, there are a couple of things in here that are being taken for granted, okay? That is that this pattern automatically understands that we could substitute other parts of the recipe. So when we're looking at the crafting thing, we know that we can use a whole bunch of wood, 99 different types of wood. However, it will show the first one, and then if we leave the substitutions disabled, it will only use this recipe. Okay, so we know that we wanted oak planks, we've got oak planks. If I click that, then it will use any type of planks. Same with the fluids, any type of fluid. Yeah? Okay. Now, we'll get to the other two down there because we can do smithing recipes and all that kind of stuff. But the two that you're mostly going to use is processing patterns, which is uses the part of the machine, or you're going to use the crafting pattern, which will use the molecular assembler. Now, I know that I've got most of the items for the molecular assembler over here, so I'm going to go back to this storage. We're going to build a couple of those, and then we're going to get one. Now, realistically, you want a few, right? You generally do. So you want one top, one bottom, and then 4 around the side. So you need 6 realistically, you need 6 in total. You don't need them. You don't need them, but you do. You do. Right, so what we're going to do is we are going to see, I was going to put this in another room, but for now we're going to leave it in this room, and I'm going to show you how it builds, and then I'm just going to connect it up very quickly just so that we've got some processing power so that we can do stuff. So what I usually do, and this is only me, what I do is I put one down and then I go grab the other part, which is the pattern provider. I shove the pattern provider there, and then I essentially just build around it, and I build 6 usually, right? So I cover all the corners, and then these are where the patterns go. So obviously the pattern provider goes into the pattern. All the ones it's touching means that it can do different processes at the same time. So we can do up to 6 processes on one thing at the same time. Yeah, because the pattern provider feeds the other machines around it. So I'm just going to link this up, which I just did. Now this is active. You can see the colors. This is active as well. You can see that when that thing disappears. Yep, that's good. You can see it's active. Now that is now in the system. You see, now it's in the system. So now if I requested 2 more of those, it tells me I need planks, I need glass, I need a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah. So if I was to go and get planks, for instance, which we do have, which I'm going to go and grab some of that actually, and I'm going to put some of that in the system because I'd like to incorporate that in the system. I really would actually. I really would like to use this as a crafting pattern. There we go. We'll have that as a crafting pattern because that's going to come in useful. And then obviously once we've got, we're going to take it off applied. Once we've got some wood, we're going to need the wood in the system as well. So if we put that in there and then we'll chuck that back in, and then we've got the wood too. So that gives us wooden planks. Wooden planks will then give us crafting tables. We're going to need sticks. So let's just, there we go. Get 1 bit of wood. You don't need 2. You can just click it in 2 different places. Done. Right. So we've got 3. Have we got enough space here? We have just. Right. So we've got the basics, which we can then go over to here, and now I can show you if I want 2 more of these. Now the wood is gone because it's now got a crafting recipe. It understands that it can craft them. So we're missing Certus quartz, Fluix dust, quartz, glass, iron, a whole bunch of shit, which is not great. But quartz, there's quartz in here. Certus, definitely. Where's quartz? Q, and then go back up. There we go, quartz. So we got those. Fluix, obviously, I've got in my inventory. Or I did have in my inventory. I don't have it in my inventory now. Oh, I am going to throw some of this stuff in here. But look, that came off of a drop, an airdrop. So did this and this. So did this, right? But look at these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these, which I need. Mega bulk storage. I don't know how big that is. Mega bulk. I don't know how big that is. Mega bolt. I don't actually know how big that is. Or is it used for other mega bulk item storage? I don't know. We'll craft one of those at some point, but I don't know what it is. We're going to put that in the system anyway, just to get it there. Right, so now what we should be able to do, apart from the Fluix, which I don't know where that is. I'm sure I had some. Do I have Fluix or did I use it all? No, I've got Fluix. Fluix dust and Fluix. Okay, so let's do some dust and then we'll get some crystals. There we go. Cool. Alright, let's go back over here. We've got to teach the system those conversions as well, but right now that's not really a massive issue. So if we go into here and we go, right, I want 3, because we're 1 and 2, oh, 2 more, so there's 2 more sides. We're missing glass, okay? So obviously when we connect everything up to the system, then we're going to be good, but right now we'll just, yeah. Right now everything is not in one system because I do not have big enough storage capability. So if I do that and then go boom, there we go, 1, 2, done. And then I can jump up here, and I can go 1, 2. There we go. Now, things will craft a lot quicker when I do the more complicated stuff. So I need 6 more of these, because I want to put another 6 in place, right? So that should do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, done. We've already got a storage thing, so I'm going to do that. We're going to go 1, 2, We're going to put this thing in the middle, 3, and then we're going to go 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the block. Now that should have automatically added. Yep, that will have added. Right, so now there is another terminal that we do need, right? Because if we wanted to go and put some items into that crafting terminal, pattern access terminal, there we go, we need a pattern access terminal. So we need one of these, right? Where is it, pattern access? Pattern access. There. So we need one of these. Oh no, we're going to go over here and we're going to attempt to do it over here. Pattern access terminal, there we go. So we need one of those. Cool, we need one of those. One of those, there we go. Which means we need one of those. Oh, for God's sake. What am I missing? Let's try over here. Let's try and make one of those over here. Pattern provider. Have I got pattern provider in the system? I have. Can you make one? Yeah, perfect. Good, do it. Thank you. Right, now we'll go back over here to finish it off. Access, done. Right, now I need what? An engineering process. This is why it's nice to have everything in one system. We will do really well soon. By next episode, most of this stuff will be across because I'm teaching you what I'm doing, and then literally I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shove it on the side, and then what we can do is when we access this, we can see that the inscriber is there, and then we've got molecular assemblies here, and we can hide these. So like if I take this off here, right, and then go into there, I can prioritize it, I can block it, I can lock it, I can, you know, give it access to the pattern terminal so it will hide and display in there. So if I don't want to play with it, then it, you know, they can be set. But what it allows me to do is if I remove that and then I go into here, and so Fluix, right? Fluix was a big thing. Do I have any? I do not have any Fluix or Certis items here. But what I do have is access to Amethyst. Well, I could do Amethyst, I suppose. There we go. Fluix. We'll do some Fluix essence. We need some Certis. Some Certis essence. Crystal? No. Essence? No. Where's the Certis? Maybe upstairs has run out of power and now it's not accessing. So we'll go and grab some in a minute. But yeah, so for now, what we can do is go down here and we can just go, right, 3 of those equals that, yeah? And then we'll go, oh, hang on, we'll go get rid of that, and then we'll go there, and it gives us that. So that's those ones. Now what we can do is go to Certis, because you can do this from here as well, right? So if I go and say, okay, I want Certis, and I go boom, and click the plus button, put it in there. And then if I want Certis dust, then I'll just click the plus button, again, puts it into the system. So pretty much the same as the other ones, but it's nice. Now, if I want to go over here and put them in there, I can't. I've got to break them. So what I can do is actually go down here and place them in the molecular assemblers from this place. Now, that's all good. And if I want stuff, then I can make it. Perfect. There you go. That's literally what we're going to be doing for the next, I don't know how long. Now what I'm going to do is probably increase this. I'm probably going to put some glass here, maybe not there, maybe somewhere else, I don't know, or go out there and then go to the next one. But I'm probably going to go that direction because I want to have a hall of these. I want to have a similar room size to this, but over there, and it's going to just have those in. So I'll probably expand that out. I also want to put a room for these. So there's a fair amount of base expansion going to be going on, but I'm not going to bore you with that lot. You know what I'm going to do with the AE storage, but Now I've got AU. Perfect. And also, what I'm going to do is cheat when I'm loading stuff up, right? So we know that this system can import ME import export bus. Okay, fair enough. ME import bus. So if I want to import stuff, I probably don't have any of that. No, didn't think so. So if I want to import, so if I go here, I might have actually some imports. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So if I grab a couple of these, right, and I don't know if I've got some acceleration cards in here. I do. We've got 5. Perfect. Right, that will add to the 3 there. That's cool. Now, import bus. There is an import bus. There's a fluid one. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But realistically, what we're going to do is just put a couple of cables across the top, right? Now I'm just going to waste all the cables I've got, okay? And then we're going to go across from here, and you'll see that that should just instantly connect up, right? Now there's no channels on this because there's nothing connected. What's in this one? Okay, so this one's full, yeah? So we are going to break this, we're going to break that, we're going to get rid of them, like so. And this chest, and we're also going to do it with this chest as well, because we've got 2 imports. We're going to go import and import. Now we've put 2 things on the network, we've now got 2 channels. It's that simple. And the import bus is slowly, one at a time, importing this chest. Now, if we put 4 cards in there, yeah, just a little bit quicker. And it's done. And then if we do 4 cards in here, as you can see, it's just way quicker. Now, that will take up types. So let's go back over here. You can see that we've got 63 different types of items. Of each 63 items, we can only store 16,000 in a 16K card, right? Now, we've got 63 types in that card, that one, we've got 3 in that one, and then 0 in the rest. So we've got a fair amount to play with, but it's going to get a little bit tight until we get the insane size cards, which should be able to do once we've decided that we're going to go with the insane imports. So once I've finished importing a lot of this stuff, we'll have so many resources that will be fine. So 5 literally just does this, and we look, and then that one just eating stuff. There is a lot of stuff that we could probably condense, we could probably get rid of. I'm not going to, because I'm lazy and that would require me to do stuff. However, you can see here that we've now got 63 in there, 52 in there. So we're filling this up quite nicely. Of everything that is in here though, we are starting to, yeah, we've got quite a lot of resources, quite a lot of different resources. So that's quite cool. We might be able to start building stuff and putting some different bits and pieces in. So this can probably start being our main storage shortly. However, we need to get a lot more stuff in first. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Let's go and have a look at some of the other things that we have achieved. Obviously we've now got the Void Shimmer, or the Shadow Pulse even, which is good. We've got a whole bunch of different bits and pieces in there. We've got different types of seeds, we've got all that. The power is not doing too bad actually. It seems to be doing well. Just ticking along, quite happy. We've got thousands, and we've got a decent amount in there. We've got, yeah, it just looks like we're doing okay, and the power generation is not too bad, even when it's raining, as you can see. Yeah, we are ticking along quite nicely. Yeah, we're just working ourselves towards getting that crystal so that we can go to the rift. But yeah, that I know that that's a bit of a boring episode, realistically, but I think that's it, because the next time I've got a whole bunch of stuff to move. I've got different bits and pieces to do. We will set up some more automation for definite, especially with planes and annihilation plane and all that kind of stuff. There's some really cool stuff. Also, the auto crafting things, they're really good. Yeah, I mean, we've done the multi-block, we've covered all of the auto crafting, we've covered the patterns. The requester and requester terminal also allows you certain thresholds to keep stuff in stock. That would be a really good one, so we will add that one at some point. I'm going to put that there. Yeah. Then there's another one which I didn't see in here. Yeah, I'll look through it. But anyway, we've got to go mega storage at some point. Okay. Sky Steel. Submerged. Okay, we definitely get one of those reaction chambers. We're going to need that, I think. Inscribe the emulation. So singularity, inscriber, emulation press, reaction, amount of balls. Okay, I think we're going to have to get into that if we want some serious storage. And then the cell workbench, obviously, so we can move things around and do that kind of stuff. The reaction chamber is up here, so the matter condenser was fairly straightforward. We can do that. I think we can actually do the matter condenser now. I'm guessing it's going to take a while to get some of the items compressed. So let's have a look at that, shall we? Just before we go. There we go. And we're going to stick that down here. Okay, matter condenser. So we need a 64k. Yeah, that looks like a 64. I don't think we've got a 64 in here. 54 will not do it. 64. No, I'm going to have to automate these. I think I'm going to have to automate that process so that we can just ask for some. Yeah, no, we've got loads of things. We know how to make those, but that's fine. So we stick one of those in there, and then basically we just chuck stuff in here until the ball gets created, and then we can use it. So I'll probably start that process. We'll export some constants. That really is it, unless we start getting into some mad stuff. But I need to go and create a whole bunch of stuff before we can then move on to the next stage, which is automating pretty much everything and replacing the entire system. So I need to go and build out some stuff and get some storage created. Yeah, so I've got a long thing ahead of me. But anyway, yeah, that's it. We're stopping there. There's too much to do. And it's going to be boring as hell watching. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. I will see you in the next episode. I've been Satosis. You've been awesome. Laters.